Hi there, I am Dustin Woods, Managing Editor for Canada Moto Guide, and we are here at the Energuide Centre in Toronto for the Toronto Motorcycle Show. I am joined here by Scott Winhold, Managing Director of Harley-Davidson Canada. Hello.
Good. Hello, thanks for having me today.
Happy to be here. And so we are here to talk about some very exciting Harley-Davidson news, just been unveiled to the media, and Scott's going to tell us what they're showing off here today. So you want to tell us about these two new beautiful motorcycles that you're showing off?
Yeah, thanks Dustin. I'm really excited to be able to show you. This is the new Harley-Davidson Bronx Street Fighter edition. And over there, what you'll see is the new Harley-Davidson Pan America adventure touring bike. Now, both of these bikes come with an all-new liquid-cooled Revolution Max engine. In the Bronx Street Fighter edition, it is a 975cc, 115 horsepower with 70 foot-pounds of torque engine. Perfect for this bike and for this segment with a really good spirited dynamic riding experience. In the Pan America, it's the same liquid-cooled Revolution Max engine. It's a 1250cc engine producing 145 horsepower and 90 foot-pounds of torque.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I know you're not able to tell us pricing. Can you tell us availability of when we may see these in Harley-Davidson dealerships?
Yeah, we're anticipating production to start later this year, likely in the November-December timeframe, and sales will begin shortly thereafter. So I would expect you'll be able to see these on the road around Canada in early 2021.
So someone much older and more curmudgeonly than myself might ask that these are not real Harley-Davidsons because they're not 45-degree V-twins. So what would you say to that aging demographic that sees a Harley-Davidson as a certain kind of motorcycle, that these are outside of that realm?
Well, what I would say to that is that Harley-Davidson does one thing really, really well, which is build fantastic touring bikes with the traditional Milwaukee 8 engines and that, but we're also going to do new things really well. And one of those new things is build a new engine, the new Revolution Max engine that has the 60-degree V-twin, delivering horsepower and torque a little bit different than our traditional models. But again, doing one thing well doesn't mean you can't do multiple things well, and that's exactly what Harley-Davidson plans to do.
And how are you guys going to market these bikes to these new audiences and these new riders that might not be part of the traditional marketing channels or part of the communities that you've been establishing in over the years?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do to convince customers out there that we can compete head-on with the existing competitors in the adventure touring and street fighter is we got to get people on these bikes. So we'll have a real focus on demo tours, on events where customers are going to come out to ride these bikes. We can't say that we've built the best bikes. We've got to prove it by getting customers on them and proving to them that we've done a fantastic job. We're also going to continue to be where customers are. So, we can't wait for customers to come to our dealerships. We got to go where they naturally are, whether it's sport bike events or whether it's adventure touring events. We're going to be there and we're going to give them an opportunity to experience our motorcycles.
Yeah. We have a couple other motorcycles that you were showing off here today that people might not have seen before. So we have the Fat Boy, and what other models have you brought out for us?
So, just recently we introduced the Fat Boy 30th Anniversary Edition. So it's our take on a very iconic motorcycle for us. We've also introduced a brand new CVO Road Glide. So it's another addition to our CVO family.
And you also have a Livewire here that I've seen people sitting on. Are they able to ride it? Are they getting experience of the electric motor and all that?
That's right. We have what we call the Jump Start. So the Jump Start is a simulator we use to allow customers to get on and experience the Livewire. So they can come into the show, they can sit on it, they can experience the twist and go technology that we have. So there's no clutch, there's no gears to run through. All they need to do is get on the bike and twist, and they'll see they'll get a great experience on the Livewire.
And what are the reactions of people who have ridden the Livewire so far?
The customer enthusiasm has been fantastic. We've had over 2,000 customers on our Jump Starts thus far, and really rave reviews about the bike. Of course, the motorcycle isn't for everyone. I mean, some of our customers, our purists, really want the Milwaukee 8 engine and the pure rumble of what you get from a Harley-Davidson. But we do have a new segment of customers we know that are out there that are looking for a simpler form of riding, and I think the electric technology provides that for them.
Yeah, and have you seen the people that are really interested in the Livewire? Is that a new audience that are coming into dealerships to look at it, or are they existing owners that are looking to maybe change their riding experience or maybe add to their stable?
Yeah, I really think there's really two types of Livewire customers, and there's probably more, but the two main types is that forward-thinking, tech-savvy rider who's looking for the newest technology. Maybe someone who's also a Tesla buyer, was one of the first to buy a Tesla, for example. But someone that wants to have the newest technology and have a new experience in riding. But we also see that we have our existing Harley-Davidson customers, someone who has maybe a touring bike in their garage and that loves to go for weekend rides or go away for a week-long trip, but also wants to get around the city in a simpler fashion, with something that just gets them from A to B in a more interesting way than maybe their touring bike does.
So Harley-Davidson is the first mass production motorcycle manufacturer to build an electric motorcycle. How important was it for you to be first out of the gate and to do it well?
I think it was really important. I mean, Harley-Davidson is a brand that is obviously an iconic brand that represents motorcycling to many, many consumers out there. And I think to show the customers that we are a brand that's changing, that a brand that isn't only building tremendous touring and cruising bikes, that can also deliver on new technology and advance our brand so that customers in the future look at us a brand that can do many things and not just one thing.
So I was actually fortunate enough to experience Project Livewire when it was in its prototype phase. And when I was riding it, you get this electric sound versus the traditional potato, potato, potato sound, which Harley has become synonymous with. Has there been any kickback with that?
Well, I think certainly I've spoken to a lot of our more traditional loyal fans that really love the rumble of our Milwaukee 8 engines. And for some of them, the Livewire may not be for them. But the people who are really interested in this new technology and electric mobility particularly, I think the sound that we've created, I would call it more of like a jet turbine engine sound. I think it really does appeal to them. But again, I want to be clear, we're not trying to sell a Livewire or an electric mobility to all customers. We absolutely are planning to continue to build our typical bikes that people love, and we will do our internal combustion engines as we've always done them, but we're trying to broaden access to a new segment of customers with the Livewire.
So there's no plans to electrify the full lineup?
Absolutely not, absolutely not.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, a number of years ago, Harley was really heavy in sponsoring flat track racing, dirt tracking. I mean, it also aligned with the bikes that they were bringing out at the time. Is there any news that you could unveil of like Harley-Davidson getting back into sponsorships like that?
Yeah, I can't speak specifically to certain types of events, but I do know that we do have plans to expand what we currently do when it comes to sponsorship and events. We know that we need to broaden our access to customers. We've got to reach a new demographic that maybe we don't reach right now. We've got to change impressions of those customers that don't think Harley-Davidson is a brand for them. And so to do that, we've got to do exactly what you just said and get to where the customers are, those customers that aren't currently thinking about Harley-Davidson, and let them experience the transformation that our brand is going through.
So you've unveiled some really interesting motorcycles here today, and you made reference to the fact that you have ordered a motorcycle for this riding season, and what is it going to be?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a really tough decision. As you mentioned earlier, I've only been with Harley-Davidson for 8 months now, and I've taken the time to ride pretty much our entire portfolio of bikes to determine which one was best for me. Up until about a month ago, I was ready to buy a Lowrider S. I love the kind of that style of cruiser bike, the blacked out look. But with the recent announcement of the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy 30th Anniversary Edition, that's the bike I've now placed an order for, and you'll be seeing me ride around the city on that bike.
All right. Well, looking forward to seeing you riding around this summer. Thanks very much for joining us today. Dustin Woods, Managing Editor for Canada Moto Guide. Thanks very much for watching.